Hello, and welcome to Romeo and Juliet, Section 3, Lesson 7, Section Diagnostic Revision. Today you will read aloud drafts of your section diagnostic to appear. You will provide feedback to your partners about the evidence used to support a claim. You will choose two sentences within your draft to expand. You will compose a final draft of the section diagnostic. For this lesson, you will need your reading response journal, your section diagnostic draft, and Romeo and Juliet, the fully dramatized audio edition, as well as the text of the play. Before we get started with this lesson, let's look at our culminating writing task prompt. What theme is developed in the last scene of Romeo and Juliet? Choose one film version of the play and discuss what choices the director made when creating a film version of this scene. How did these choices enhance or detract from the themes developed in the play? Here are our learning targets for this lesson. Can you explain how the theme in the poison tree relates to a theme in Romeo and Juliet? Can you develop fluent sentences? You are going to review the question and ask yourself the questions. Going to review the prompt and ask yourself the questions. What type of question is this? What are the parts to this question? What elements must be included in a response for this question? If you'll go back to lesson 3.6 and pull up the prompt from the Google Slides, that's where we're going to start. Your response in the supporting claims and explanations should be accurate, relevant, evidence-based, and logical. You will have 10 minutes to complete this activity of reviewing the prompt. Now you're going to work with your partner. You will read your partner's work and answer the questions on the draft. You will underline two sentences that should be expanded. You will locate the evidence used to support the claim and make any necessary revisions to the content and ideas in your own work. In order to do this, you will need to share using the share button in the upper right-hand corner your document, your draft, with your classmate. The questions that you will be answering for your partner revision are: how does the evidence used to support the claim made in the response? And you're going to be answering this about your partner's paper. And how could the author improve his response? You will have 10 minutes to complete this activity. You are going to answer the questions about the kernel sentence in your reading response journal. The kernel sentence is, the Montagues and the Capulets have been feuding for years. You're going to identify the subject of the sentence and the predicate of the sentence. And you can use a sentence frame such as, the subject of the sentence is, and the predicate of the sentence is. I'm going to have you take about 5 minutes to complete this activity. You're going to continue to answer questions about the kernel sentence in your reading response journal. And remember that the kernel sentence is, the Montagues and the Capulets have been feuding for years. What additional information would be helpful to the reader to understand the sentence? Think of what could be added to the sentence to clarify it. And consider, when you're answering this question, who, what, when, where, why, and how as ways that you could expand upon this sentence. Remember that writers must consider what readers need to know and provide that information so that readers have clarity and understanding. I'm going to go ahead and have you take another 5 minutes to respond to these questions in your reading response journal. Now, using the answers to the questions, I want you to write words, phrases, and/or clauses in your reading response journal that can be added to the kernel sentence. I'm only going to give you about 3 minutes to do this part, but just jot down some words, phrases, or clauses that could expand the sentence and make it a better sentence. Now we're going to put it all together. You're going to expand the kernel sentence by adding words, phrases, and/or clauses to provide more details for the reader, including replacing pronouns with specific information about who and what. Be sure to include the necessary punctuation. As you're working through this activity, I want you to consider the following. What other details or ideas from the text can you include or consider in crafting your sentence? What punctuation should you use in addition to or in place of conjunctions to combine these ideas into a single sentence? How do you know? You will have 5 minutes to revise and expand the kernel sentence. Now you're going to review your expanded sentence. As needed, I want you to revise that expanded sentence. I want you to change passive verbs into active verbs to make the sentence more powerful. I want you to add adjectives and adverbs to provide more detail. I want you to rearrange phrases or clauses to emphasize different aspects of the sentence. You will have 3 minutes to review and revise your sentence. Now you're going to read the questions. In your reading response journal, you will create a draft that answers the questions. You will use your forming claim tool and text theme understanding tool as you create your draft. Be sure to state your claim clearly and provide supporting evidence as you create your draft. The questions that you will use to create your draft are: what is a theme in this poem, and how does the author use imagery to develop this theme? How does this theme relate to a theme in Romeo and Juliet? As you draft your paragraph, make sure you include a topic sentence and that your paragraph develops the topic sentence. Once you have created your draft, you will need to review the prompt and the section diagnostic checklist and answer and check your draft against the two, and then answer the questions. Does your response address the prompt? Does your response meet the expectations? You will have 30 minutes to complete the section diagnostic. And I'm going to go ahead and put it back on the prompts. So you'll have 30 minutes to complete this. So you'll have 30 minutes to complete this. Congratulations! You have completed Section 3, Lesson 7 of the Romeo and Juliet unit. In this lesson, you explained how the theme in The Poison Tree related to a theme in Romeo and Juliet, and you developed fluent sentences.